Hello and welcome to the show. You know, everyone has at least one or two R&B go-to songs, right? But most of us have a whole playlist, and we still have the CDs, the cassettes, and the albums to back it up. Kevin Ross is a singer, a songwriter, music producer who's penned songs for Toni Braxton, Tank, SWV, Trey Songz, and many other R&B stars. And he has a chart-topping hit of his own. Good to have and welcome Kevin Ross to the show.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
It is a pleasure. Cannot wait to hear you sing, but I had to start with a good conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
Because your story is unique in that you really still feel like, even as young as you are, we still need to lock into old-fashioned love songs.
Yes.
Explain.
Oh, so as far as, you know, where R&B stands and love songs, it's there. It's just the fact that it's harder to find, right?
Yeah.
The big thing as far as within R&B right now is that it doesn't have the marketing dollars as it used to have as far as within the 80s and the 90s.
Right.
And so for us, it's about creating, you know, different unique campaigns in order for the people that desire R&B to still see us, to still consume the songs that we're putting out there. So it's not the fact that the quality of the songs have been lost, it's just the fact of how it's reaching the masses have changed because of social media and all of the different mediums that have changed. So,
Absolutely.
yes.
Let's talk a bit about your background. You grew up listening to the classics.
Yes.
Good parenting.
That's right.
And the classics. Tell me more.
Yeah, so my father, he sang all around Washington, D.C., which is where I'm from. He did weddings, he did church, he did, you name it, he was there. And I was just a fly on the wall, just kind of taking the, you know, the game in.
Taking it all in,
Exactly.
but looks like very resourceful and playing on the side, right?
For sure, for sure. We were definitely a musical family, me, my older brother, my younger brother, for sure. And so, you know, that's something that we take pride in the sense of, you know, growing up in the 90s, my parents wasn't listening. Boy, they were listening to the Stylistics, the Delphonics, the Intruders, the Shy Lights, different, you know, groups and artists like that. And so that kind of really helped to shape who I would become as an artist, but then also to become a bridge for not only my predecessors or past, you know, artists, but also living in the present and paving a way for the future.
So obviously talented musician, but you start out writing, right?
Yes.
Songwriting is truly a gift.
Yes.
And the gift of being able to write for very talented artists, that connection, help me understand and help us understand how you connected those two pieces.
So to be honest, when I was in college, I went to Berklee College of Music. I had a college mentor by the name of Armstead Christian, God bless his soul. He told me that, look, you got singing down. Now you need to do things that you're weak at, the things that you suck at. And so he was like, okay, well, what are the things that you can't do? And I was like, well, I don't know how to really write. Well, I don't know how to really produce. He's like, well, you need to focus on that. And so, you know, in college, I studied arranging. And so, you know, composing for strings and horns and stuff. So by the time that I graduated, I came down to Atlanta and I started writing. I did the thing that I was the weakest at, that I felt the most uncomfortable, and I dove straight into, you know, this world called the music industry. And within a year, I landed my first placement with Jamie Foxx.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How? I mean, what is it? Is it who you know? Is it obviously, because you can know a whole lot of folks and still not, you know, have the chops to perform. So how did you really stand out? I
would say it was divine alignment. You know, you got to meet God halfway. And so for me, I'm a true believer in the sense of being at the right place at the right time, but then also having the tools in order to execute what you need to execute. So for me, being down in Atlanta, learning all of the chops within that year in order to successfully create a song for Jamie Foxx to listen to. And so yes, it is about network, but it is also about talent. It's about luck, you know, but like I said, it's divine. So it's things that are out of your control that when it does happen, that you're extremely grateful for because you can't calculate it.
And how do you shift, you know, from one artist to the next? Because we saw T.I. in the pictures. You know, we've seen a lot of different artists that you worked with. Obviously, they come to you because you start to get a good reputation. But how do you adjust based on what it is they're looking for?
Well, you have to be selfless and then understand that you are in the business of servitude. I'm a blank canvas as it pertains to when I work with artists. So I'm not trying to bring in me into the room. I'm there with a blank pad or, you know, within my mind to say, okay, what are the colors that they're painting with? What are the story that they're trying to tell, and how can I tell it and condense it into a place that people can sing along with it? Or where's the hook? Where's the mantra? Where's the thing that, you know, we can catch on to? So,
So at what point, though, did you say, okay, I'm enjoying doing this for others, but now it's time for me to get out there?
I'd say a couple of years in, thanks to my mentor, Troy Taylor. He's based here in Atlanta as well. He saw a lot of potential in me, and so we started to do demos, and those demos landed in the lap of the people, at Motown Records and Verve Records, and
Wow.
they did a deal. Yeah.
I've heard L.A. Reid.
Yeah, L.A. Reid was
Very impressed.
Yes.
And I understand to this day, he's still it was hard to impress.
Yes, so, and thank you for mentioning that. So L.A. Reid was the first person to really kind of see potential in me. I was doing a session in L.A. We were doing a writing camp for Rihanna. The producer, shout out to DJ Tump, he was late to the session. So there was a piano there. I was playing.
Wow.
He shows up. I got caught off guard. We ended up doing a song that was decent enough for the A&R to bring in L.A. Reid. So before L.A. Reid even walks into the studio, DJ Tump actually says, hey, before we even play this song, you got to hear this kid play and sing.
Wow.
And so L.A. Reid sat next to me on the piano bench, and I played songs. And so literally for like a whole week of us being in L.A., that was the buzz, where it was like, oh, L.A.'s found this new kid, yada, yada, yada. However, it didn't materialize into anything, but it set me on the path of saying, you know what, I need to create demos, and I need to, really start to consider this artistry as a serious thing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
But obviously, I have to imagine if L.A. Reid is in the studio listening and looking, it really kind of forces you to have to just show up and be ready.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Lots of lessons learned here. I want to get a sense then of when you decided, okay, let's just dive all in. This is me, this is a solo artist, and we're going to go on tour.
That happened around 2014. So what ended up happening is that my first opening act was with Maxwell. So that was my first opening act experience. And so I went from doing a show every 3 months to doing 5 to 6 shows a week. So it was a huge shock to my body and just to my mind in general. But the thing that, what that created, it spawned kind of a narrative to say, you know what? I think I could do this artist thing. I think I have the stamina. I think I have the dexterity. I think I have the endurance in order to do it. And if Maxwell trusts me as far as to open up for him, then I should be okay. And then that led to having a national-wide Glade commercial that did really well. That was a song called This Is My Wish. And then a couple of years later, I had my first #1 R&B song on the charts, which was called Long Song Away.
Right. And you were how old at that point?
25?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a pause just for a moment here. Such a good story. Coming up, you're going to meet singer and budding conga player Natalie Rojas. She's enjoyed some success with girl groups, but recently decided to break out as a solo artist. She's got some questions. Kevin's got some answers. Good conversation continues when we return. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I really want to thank you for season 3 of Portia. It's because of loyal viewers like you that we keep getting to share this daily dose of positivity all across the country. So just a reminder, I still need you to like, comment, and subscribe. And go ahead and tell your friends. You can catch us now in Orlando, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, and all across the country on Fox Soul. Tell your friends. We'll see you soon on Portia.